correspondent chess is like normal chess, but rather than playing a game instantly in one go, you play the game over a course of maybe a month or so, and you have up to a day to make your move, and then it's your opponent, and then they have a day to make a move. So this allows you to think for a lot longer, but also play a game by in the background. You'll be doing like living your life normally, and then you'll just go and log on and play a move. I had a go at playing a game of this. We're going to go over it, look at how I play, look at the good moves I was able to find, look at what potentially I should have done better on. So here that is. So here's the game. I'm with the white pieces, and I start with e3. So this is my kind of open record I've been playing around with for the last few years. I play e3, allows to play for reverse Dutch, can also play a few other things. Play e5, and then just switch around and play the black pieces. Slight disadvantage, but I quite happy my black open compared to my white when I came up with this idea. So we get in here, we get in Italian, I play the bishop like c5 line to allow for the gambit, bishop piano, see what happens. Then castle, not what I think is like best to play, but it's perfectly playable, still definitely advantage because you know move up. This is all fine by both of us. They control the centre a little bit here. We swap off. Now they've got a good control of the centre. Got a slight advantage, but it's nothing major. And it's those things that over the game will diminish and may become a weakness later on. So although the computer will say it's black's better, for humans it's very little in it. Just developing, getting king safe. They get the knight out control centre good. Still a little advantage here. The idea of the bishop swap here is I get 2 pawns down the centre, so I want an e3, I want an d3. That allows you then to try and combat the centre later with like move at d4 or e4. They get a bishop out, decent developing. I move my queen across to break the pin that the bishop has on the knight to the queen. They get the pawn forward, not technically the best, but still pretty good. It just, I don't know, it just kind of gets a little more space, stops me going back and mates later. There's no disadvantage really to playing at the moment. Maybe long term I'll be able to create something out of it. So I'm not scared of the move, I haven't played it, but it's fine. I then play e4 here. E4 is a bit of an error by me. It allows their knight to come to d4 in a sec. The problem with the knight coming to d4 is it attacks the bishop, it's like in the centre. It's not an outpost, so I can keep it at c3, but I don't necessarily have time to do that. So as we'll see now, they can then play bishop takes here. They're taking a piece, I've got to recapture. Recapture the rook, keep the rook active. Don't want to open up the g point from my king. That's a decent move by me. Then knight d4 here. It attacks my rook. He also attacks the bishop. My bishop's not playing anything but pawns after the rook moves. Then the knight can come in, take the bishop. I've got to recapture with a pawn, give me double pawns. It's not a massive disadvantage right here, but it's just a slight little thing. So I'm going into now playing an endgame kind of position, slightly worse, very little in it. So it's still to play for, but it's just a little error on my side, I think. They take here. I think the idea is to try and give as many pawns as possible. I can take back the queen, and then I think I'm still okay here. I've got a slightly more active position, but a slightly weaker position. So long term, they're probably like they've got the slight advantage of the pawns, but there might be something I can create now, and if I'm able to create something, I'll be better off for the rest of the game. Get the queen out, defend the pawn on b7, but also give them check, regular move by them. I'll hide my king away in the corner, just to keep out of the way, so there's no tactics, not with forks, or maybe a pin later on. They defend the pawn h5, has to be done. I move my rook across to f1 and try and put pressure on that f7 square. They took the pawn to a5, they're trying to do their own thing. I'm not quite sure, but I assume the idea is on the queen side, because I've got the bad pawn structure at home, they have to create something. I own my queen back, threaten the f7 square. At this point I haven't really got a clear idea what to do, but I know that my rook's slightly more active, so I'm just trying to poke and prod and hope they'll make a mistake. They play f5 here, so now push a lot, which may lead to weaknesses because they can't defend and their king's more open. So maybe something comes up later, I'm hoping. I'm slightly worse, still very little in it. And then it's just whether I can do something in a bit, or get in the lead. It's still, no one's really yet to make any big mistakes. But the rook went to g3, just pin the pawn, the threat is the queen takes f5. This is reasonably good for like me, I think, as it just forces them to play a good move. They play f4 here. f4 doesn't really stop the problem of the pin, but it attacks my rook, so I've got to do something first. So I then move my rook, and here they play queen to f6. This is the first stake of the game. because I can now take the pawn h5 and I win this pawn, and suddenly I went from being down in the worst position. So I've got a few threats coming in, like a rook to g6, fall from the queen and king. I've also got an extra pawn now, so I'm just better off. They do have the fact that I've got my queen could be under attack the pawn, and I've got the rook to defend. There is a potential counterplay, but it's not too great. The king out, breaking the pin, so my queen's in attack. The thing I got here, rather than g7, which they could have played, is that now my queen can come up to here, give check, and now I'm in their position a bit more. I'm poking around the back. The b7 square could be weakened a bit. The g6 square, the king is away, so they can't play king to e6, so I have rook to g6 kind of thing. They play queen to g7, blocking, makes sense. I then decide to play queen to h3. This is better than trading slightly, so I guess that's good for me. I just want to get the queen on here, trying to still go around, see if I can create anything else. Potentially still the e5 pawn or something could be weak. With a rook over, and now I get my queen in to check. I know the king's going to have to move, and now because our rook's moved away from e8, the pawn e5 will not be protected. The king comes down here, I can take the queen, king has to take back, then my rook can take the pawn, and now I've got another pawn. So already I'm starting to build something here, and now I'm significantly winning, and as long as I play well, I should win the game. King comes out, attacks the rook. I then move the rook out of the way, also attacking the b7 square, keeping the tempo going. They play g5. I'm just greedy here, I'm just gobbling up the pawns. Because my opponent's now behind, they're trying to create something to get the rook out. They're trying to attack on h2. I play g3, and the whole thing is that because the pawn f4 is pinned, their pawn can't take, and my pawn h2 there's no one really can take there. It's a bit of a weird one, they're stuck here on, but because we've got so long to beat, it's not too hard for us to play. Move the rook across. In this situation here, I decide to take, trying to just simplify it out. I know that if I can solve everything, I'll win, so that's my aim. They take back with the pawn, so I keep the rooks on, because they've got more chance to win the rook and playing it with the rooks. I'm not winning draw anyway, but it's best for them to have it. I then give a check. My plan with this was calculating out. I thought that if I gave the checks here, that I'd be able to force the king across at some point, kind of thing. King g5. I move my rook over. I wasn't sure at this point if I would be able to win because my king's a bit stuck. So here I was quite happy that I was able to get all the rooks off. So I was able to play check here. The reason why this is better is because the other line I can play is I can play takes, then king takes, and now in this position the king's not going to advance. As in the line that we go down, so I go back to here, their king takes that, then I take here check, and now their king's further away from the pawn, and then puts in slightly better position. My thinking was a bit on the lines of, I need to just split the two, I need to split the king and the pawn away, and then hope I get something. They king here, I play rook, so here I kind of had a bit of a think, in my head, or looking out further back, I thought that rook g7 was good, but I also thought h3 might be good. So now I got to the position, because I'm closest to it, makes the most sense to analyse it. I went with rook to g7. This is, in theory, a draw, but it's quite hard for black to do, so although it is a draw according to the computer, I still think that I've got a good chance of winning it. What I was supposed to do, though, I was supposed to play h3. In my head, this didn't work, because I thought after rook to h8, which attacks the h3 pawn, so I was thinking about the h3 pawn is going to have to drop, because I thought I couldn't stop their other pawn. So if I place it here, then they'd have to take the pawn. I thought this was bad, but apparently this is still winning for me, so I hadn't realised that. So I assumed this kind of thing was a draw, but it's winning. So in my head, we got to here, not so here. I thought I'd have to place it like this. Then after pawn here, I then have to move my king across. Then the pawn can promote. I don't know why I thought this was so bad. I really can't explain. For some reason I thought this was bad for me. Obviously I'm winning. I don't quite remember why, but anyway, there was some reason that I thought like rook to g7 was a better move, which it wasn't, so we learned from that. I think I was just a bit complacent, really. So king to f4, getting a king to the pawn to the other, so I can't win it. Good move by them. I get my rook across. I think this is stop f2, because basically what it comes down to is I've got to stop the pawn getting again to promote. The rook comes across, blocking my king in. So now my king can't get in. This is why this is drawing, basically. My king just can't get in the game. There's nothing I can do. So I give it a check. I'm trying to force the king and pawn to be separated again. Get here, push the rook. Now they can't play the pawn to f2, so I have rook f3, forking the 2. So they have to move the king again. Then I give it a check. And this is on to a bit of repetition, but I would have played something different. I think. Did I play something different? Did I have to draw here? I'm not sure. Because the position is a draw, I don't know if I had some plan of what I was going to do, or whether I was actually after a draw. I know that I thought I have a draw if I need it, but I don't think I'd fully decide is my final decision, I think. But luckily for me, they played king to g5, which allowed me to get my king out. Unfortunately for me, I'm stupid and didn't do that. I played rook to e3 to continue my plan. They then could have just played, so I think I must have had for a draw, because if they played king here, I play here, that's a 3-4 repetition draw. There's nothing I can do to play here, really. I have to do that. So yeah, I would have had a draw. But they were scared of a draw for some reason. This is one thing I'd always say to you. If you're losing, don't be scared of a draw, because a draw is good for you. So that's what I'm holding here. So very lucky. Play f2. I'm now winning again, fortunately for me. Get the rook to f3. King comes down to g4. I can take the pawn. The rook comes across. There's nothing really here. Like, they're thinking maybe if I get king to h3, they've got a simple one move checkmate threat, but I'm just get my king out. Then move the rook around. Just play h3 check. Just need to push the pawn at this point, make sure I don't give anything away. I'm clearly winning. King moves across with discover check. Put my king to the side that way of the check. Play rook h8. Rook to f4 check. Just trying to get across. Push the king up so my king's not in danger of being pushed back. King goes across, getting my king up again, just getting forward, controlling the board a bit more, getting rid of any kind of checkmate threats that could exist. King goes back again, get my rook across, trying to win that pawn on a5. One thing I should point out is that if they wanted to try and defend it this way, I have this which wins it, because if takes I've got there. And if we go back to here and they don't take, they have to move like the king or something. I can then take here and take. And this is obviously a win for me because I've got so many pawns. Let's push the h pawn, the a pawn, and the king can't stop one of them. So we're here. They can't really defend the pawn. They move the king anyway. I take the pawn, and here they've resigned because it's lost their need for them. I've got so many more pawns than them. There's no way it can stop me. So that's my correspondent game. I didn't play perfectly in it, I played okay. There's also one thing I would say, when you play correspondent, you actually feel like you're playing lots of games at once, because you look at so many different lines, and you think about so many different tactics that don't happen. You actually, you played 200 moves of working out what you're going to do, even though you actually only played a 50 move game. I do somewhat enjoy correspondent, but sometimes I get fed up, and that's the thing. It's very easy to want to play a game of chess at one moment, but 2 weeks later, do you want to play? Not always the case. So I do enjoy it, but I'm not sure I'm going to make much more content on it. We'll have to see.